All right, so I'm going to be really real with you right now. I just recorded this entire draft breakdown. It's late, mind you, and just as an announcement, my week 9 battle for the APA is not going to be going live today. Leader Geo, coach of the San Francisco Giants, he's doing wedding stuff with a friend. I think it's his friend that's getting married, not him. He's the best man in the wedding, and they're like bachelor partying or wedding planning or something, but they're having a good time. They're living life. And he told me that he could forfeit if I didn't have time, and I told him that I would rather get a game in than get a forfeit, since he just wants to, live his life. Do that. Live your life. IRL is important. So anyways, that aside, and I hope that didn't sound sarcastic or dry. Like, I really mean that. Like, I'm 100% all about, like, you do you and do your real life stuff. We can play Pokemon later. Just in case that sounded sarcastic or dry. If that tone is in my voice, it's because I'm annoyed. Because I just recorded this entire 30-minute draft breakdown, which, don't get me wrong, I'm notorious for my draft breakdowns taking way too long for me to get to the point. So we're going to speed through this because I recorded it for 30 minutes. I was probably going to use 25 minutes of footage or something like that. And then the file was corrupted, which has never happened to me. I mean, I couldn't handbrake it, couldn't import it to Adobe Premiere. I'm sure that there's some tech genius out there that could have shown me what to do, but honestly, I was like, I don't really need this taking forever to export anyways, because I have stuff to do. So let's this is draft 3 for the APA. My name is In Vivid Color. I'm your coach of the South Texas Sableyes, and I'm gonna take a drink. We are doing things exceptionally professional today. Okay, cool. All right, so first pick was bad. It was Zeraora. I was like a kid in a candy store. I had 5th pick. I didn't think it would make it back up to me because it was tier 2. I think it's really good value at tier 2, and I just snapped it off. I know it's a bad first pick. Please roast me in the comments. The first person who comments, you're such an idiot. You should never draft Zeraora round 1. Your comment gets pinned and it gets a heart. Promise. I promise you that. But you have to be the first at it. And then the first person who comments first, you get a reply with, I don't know, a random emoji. I'll let the emoji gods decide. Second pick was Tapu Bulu. Pairs pretty well with Zeraora. It, covers the ground weakness. It also makes ground type attacks less good. Also, it made me feel a little bit better about picking Zeraora round 1 because I think this is a pretty good pair. Pick 3, Hydreigon. Gives me hazard control with defog, really good dragon type. I love Hydreigon. I've used it in the PGBL before. I don't know. I was trying to patch ground type attacks. I'm speeding through this. Also, we have pretty decent speed tiers here. There you go. Pick 4, Metagross. Steel type, really, really physically, offensively strong. I think it can be special, but it's probably not that great. Good setup mon with agility. And Meteor Mash having the 20% chance to raise your attack stat also gives me rocks, because up to this point I have 0 hazard setters. Pick 5 was Keldeo. I hate Keldeo from the movie. I hate the way it looks. It annoys me, but it's got a good speed tier. Really hard to switch into with its dual type stabs, and I'm a really big fan of its typing. Really big fan of what it does competitively and offensively. I just really hate the way it looks, but I think it fits the team well. It gives me a good dark resist, etc. I feel like I had so much more to say the first time. I can't. Pick 5, pick 6, Chandelure. This pick was a mistake. I 100% should have picked my Mega this round because Geo was drafting Fast Boys. Like, if you don't know, Geo's been doing a theme team each draft. We've done 3 drafts now. His first theme was Mono Psychic, his second theme was Mono Dragon. Nobody knew what his third theme was because it wasn't a mono type theme. And then after about pick 3 or 4, it was pretty obvious that it was just Pokemon that are base speed over 100. So Fast Boys. And I wanted Mega Beedrill, and I should have probably picked it up here because I don't think anyone would have picked up Chandelure in the meantime. And we were on the way back up, obviously. So picked Chandelure, missed out on Mega Beedrill. I think Chandelure is a great mon though, so I'm not mad about it. It has 3 good abilities: Fire Body, Infiltrator, Flash Fire. It can be sort of like a bulky sub Calm Minds, like I dare you to hit me with a physical type attack and get burn set. It can be sort of a really good Scarfer because I think its base speed is 80, so it's like one of those really good Scarf speed tiers, and its special attack stat is monstrous. It's like 145, which I think is, and I might be wrong, but I think it's the highest special attack stat of a Pokemon that's not a Mega or a Mythical or a Legendary. So Could be wrong, unclear. No, probably not. I'm sure there's now, well, no, I would consider, I was about to say I'm sure there's a Ultra Beast, but I would consider those like, maybe not legendary, but in that, whatever, the like upper echelon of Pokemon. I missed out on Mega Beedrill, ended up with Mega Pidgeot. I'm not mad about it. I think Mega Pidgeot's fantastic. Hurricane spam is great. Pivot option, we have a little bit of, you know, so a little bit of like a Volt turn, you know, shenanigans happening. We got the Zeraora, the Volt Switch. We have the Hydreigon, the U-turn. We got this Burb to U-turn. It can also just break Pokemon down with Hurricanes. I love it when my sweepers can also roost, or my like breakers can also roost. Or recover, because I really am a fan of Pokemon that can dish out a massive amount of damage but also recover off attacks, especially on predicted switches. So I think Mega Pidgeot fits my playstyle. It gives me another ground immunity, which pairs well with the Zeraora and the Metagross. And, you know, we also got the Bulu to make my opponents bring suboptimal ground type attacks, or you just cut their Earthquakes in half. We picked up the bulky water type because I feel like I pronounced all of those words really strangely. Keldeo is not a bulky water type. Like, its bulk isn't awful. It's not, you know, paper thin, but it's not fantastic. I think it's like base 70 something HP and then like base 90s or something like that in its defenses, or maybe it's the opposite of that, where it's like base 90 HP and base 70s in its defenses. I'm not gonna look it up. I did all that in the first draft recap and then it got cursed, so I figure let's just blaze through it and talk off the top of our head and act like we know stuff. So this gives me another Stealth Rocker because up to this point I have Metagross. I really wanted more options than that. It gives me a water immunity, which is great. I've also been toying around with, like, you know, this thing wouldn't make an awful Swift Swim Sweeper. It really wouldn't. I would be a-okay with doing like some type of Swift Swim Z Crystal shenanigans, because I've only ever used this thing defensively because this is what it's good for. It's, you know, got a great defensive typing with only one weakness to grass, makes your opponent run Hidden Power Grass when they could otherwise be running Hidden Powers to hit your other mons. You know, I'm a fan. It gets that residual recovery from the grassy terrain, which makes it exponentially bulkier. It uses Earth Power, so Earth Power doesn't get hindered by grassy terrain. I mean, you can also use Earthquake, but it'll probably use Earth Power. I don't know. It matchup dependent. Also, I needed another rocker. I think this thing gets knockoff too, and at least Ice Punch. So, or maybe it's Ice Beam. I don't know. Good coverage options is what I'm getting at here. Garbodor is, what pick are we on now? 9? Garbodor is like a nice tier 5 pick because it gets access to both spikes, so spikes and toxic spikes. It has okay bulk. I wouldn't say good. It's just reasonable. Reasonable bulk. Grounded poison type that can absorb some toxic spikes. Decent amount of coverage moves. I think it gets, you know, like, I want to say it gets like Drain Punch. I don't know. I'm not gonna look it up. I was about to. I refuse. I think it gets reasonable coverage options, and I know for a fact it gets either self-destruct or explosion. So, you know, you can run sort of like a bulky spike setting set. I think it gets knockoff. Its ability is, I think it only has one good ability. I think it's Aftermath. So if you get knocked out by a physical attack, it chunks them for like 25% of their health. Well, that's not very professional, but we're not starting over. We're just muting the cell phone. Okay, cool. This thing, honestly, I picked it up because it gave me hazard options, and it is a reasonably utilitarian. That's probably not the right word. It has reasonable utility options. Let's put it that way. Utilitarian? That's like a government style. Whatever. We're moving on. All right. Piloswine is the next pick. Pick number 10. I really, really love Eviolite Pokemon. If you've been, you know, on my channel for a while and you've watched my draft teams, the Pokemon I draft, or, you know, me doing like random Wi-Fi battles or whatever, you know that I love good Eviolite Pokemon. Like, I'm a big fan of Porygon 2. I'm a massive fan of Scyther. I really, really love Pokemon like that are, you know, they weren't really meant to be bulky, but then since Eviolite was released and they have random evolutions in different generations, they get exponentially more bulky than they have any right to be. So Piloswine, really bulky with an Eviolite, can normally take, you know, like 1 to 2 hits from most things. Special attackers, sort of like not as much, because its special defense still isn't fantastic, even with an Eviolite. Also has a good attack stat. It's like base 100, so it's not weak by any means, and you can just run like max HP, max attack at him. Investing in bulk when need be to live specific moves. Its earthquakes will hit hard as long as my grass terrain isn't up, but it also gets, you know, icicle crash, icicle spear, and it's another stealth rocker, which I think is really important. I think this thing also gets a knockoff. It's just a really good mod. That's all I'm getting at. I think that this is one of my favorites sort of like value picks. I really love, like I said, I really love Scyther. I really love Piloswine. I'm also, you know, I'm not ashamed to say I also enjoy things like Electabuzz and Mischievous. I just really love sort of like the bulky, not fully evolved Pokemon. So there we go. Moving on. Last pick of the draft was Serena. This one, I don't know. I wanted more hazard removal because up to this point, I really have Hydreigon and Mega Pidgeot as defoggers, and I also have sort of like hazard stacking options with Garbodor. Like I don't have webs, but I have, you know, 3 rockers and then something that gets up spikes or toxic spikes. So I wanted something with rapid spin. A lot of the good rapid spinners were either out of my reach point wise, or they had already been scooped up. So I picked up this thing. It's got a really good attack stat. It has good coverage. It gets like Play Rough, High Jump Kick. Its ability stops priority attacks, which is neat because that can really hinder some Pokemon. And you know, its attack stat's pretty good. I want to say that like Vine Whips in terrain are going to hurt. I think its attack stat rivals Tapu Bulu's even. So, I mean, I don't know. It's hard for me to defend it because I think it's a really subpar Pokemon, but I think that it has a place on this team as an offensive hazard removal. Its bulk isn't the worst. I think it's like 71, 90, 90 or something like that. So, you know, I mean, it's a grass type, so it's never bulky, but it also gets access to synthesis. So again, something I love is when Pokemon can do, you know, decent amounts of damage and then also heal off damage. And it also gets U-turn. So again, I don't think this thing is going to be the best, but I do think that it will come into play. So this is the team. This is my really fast draft recap because I shouldn't have taken 30 minutes to do it the first time and then get my video corrupted. So, you know, that's on me. Yeah. Okay, cool. So thank you so much for watching. I love you for bearing through this with me. Let me know what you think of my team in the comment section down below. Please tell me where you think the like glaring holes are. Tell me what you like about the team. You know, just give me your thoughts. What's your favorite Pokemon on my team? What's your least favorite Pokemon on my team? Do you think I'm gonna get entirely rolled by everybody? Do you think I will continue to play bad? Do you think I will continue to get hacked? There's so many questions that you can answer. But yeah, I'm in Vivid Color. I'm your coach of the South Texas Sableyes. It means the most that you decide to spend a little bit of time here with me, watching me ramble. And yeah, I think we're pretty much done. So, you know, like the video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new here, because we put out just the highest quality content weekly, once weekly, just one video a week consistently. I'm gonna try and start streaming on Twitch again. My Twitch link is in the description down below. I'm gonna stream Pokemon and Magic the Gathering. Those are my 2 games right now. If that interests you, go follow me. Follow me on Twitter so that I can feel more validated in my life decisions. And let's see, like, subscribe, comment, follow me on other socials. I think that's about it. All right, cool. I love you. Again, thank you so much for being here. I know that this was probably the most riveting experience of your day. And once again, my week 9 battle will be either on Monday or Tuesday. We're battling Monday, and then we'll figure out when we're going to upload. Okay. All right. I'm kind of done here. I got to leave. Bye.